Hello and welcome back to my series in Factorio, in which I'm attempting to build my very first mega factory. My name is Azrael. Come along with me as we continue our adventure. Now, I realized as soon as I'd set this module production area up in the previous episode that it just was not very efficient. But I honestly didn't know how to fix that myself until I just recently went onto the Factorio forums, and there was a user there by the name of, and I hope I pronounce this correctly, Vanatavelt, who had created a very compact blueprint for creating the all three levels of modules, and with a ratio that works well enough for the speed and efficiency modules. It's a little out of sync with the production modules because their ratios are just a little bit different. But with a little bit of research, he or she, I'm not even sure, has figured out how to slightly balance that out again with some speed modules. So right now I'm not even concerned too much about the upper or the other two types. I'm working on the speed modules right now, but this is such a nice design that it should work out well enough for the other two types. So right now it's just a matter of getting it built the first time just to see how it all works out. But this shouldn't be too difficult to reproduce. Now we want a split belt on the outside lanes of red and green circuits, with the blue circuits going right up the center. Now, obviously I still have a shortage of red circuits right now because of my oil problems, but that should be taken care of fairly soon. Once we can get this production up and running, we can definitely bolster the existing oil pump jacks that I have right now, as well as going out to find more deposits and bringing in more oil just to keep everything going, because as far as any factory goes, let alone a mega factory, having an oil shortage this massive is just embarrassing. So for right now we're just sort of making do with what we got, and I don't even have that many left over in my junk area. I do have a ton of processing units, the blue level circuits, so that shouldn't be too big of a problem right now. I'm not going to go ahead and put in the advanced circuits, the feeding box back in the circuit production area. I'm just going to go ahead and have it out there on the master bus instead. Alright, so there we've got all three belts are saturated, and this is a very slow process because modules do take quite a long time to craft up. But even as such, there is still a rather significant shortage of the things I need. But that does mean that it takes significantly less room in my rack space, because I can do the entire production in a single rack. This conveniently fits. It's only 11 tiles wide, so that's not a problem whatsoever. I can just go ahead and copy this layout 2 more times and create the racks that I need with that. So over here I'm going to do the same thing for efficiency modules. I just have to go ahead and change the recipes, which isn't too difficult. There we go. And once again, it's just a matter of connecting all the belts. And that is it's got that one tile gap. That's just gonna throw me off for a while there, but I'm not going to be too worried about it right now. Alright, it looks like we're already producing at least one speed module 3 there. And there won't be too many of those because of the red circuit shortage, but it's certainly getting somewhere. It works, obviously, so I'm not going to be too concerned about that. Now, the storage boxes that I'm using for the alien artifacts, I might eventually upgrade that to an actual belt down here on the main bus. Just unload them all onto a single belt and then have those belts fed up like these other three. We'll see how that goes, or I might come up with something a little fancier and just have a 3-belt splitter. There we go. Finally fixed that one that was driving me nuts. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let that hobble along. Look at all those processing units. Got a ton of those things. All right. Well, I mean that's kind of a good thing, though. It does show that I don't have to produce them as much as the red circuits. So in the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and stuff as many of them onto the master bus as I can. Because right now I believe this is the only thing that's actually using processing units in my factory, at least on a large scale. I'm going to pick everything up back out of that junk box. Oh hey, I've got some plastic over here. Let's go dump that into the system, because that's where the red circuit shortage really is. The oil that creates the plastic, and so that should help a little bit. A little bit. It won't fix things for the long term, obviously, but it's better than nothing. Now, in the meantime, this whole area up here is relatively unprotected. I'm going to go ahead and create a preliminary blueprint of my defensive perimeter 3.0, but this is ultimately not where it's going to reside, so I'm going to deconstruct this and just build up some of the basic defensive perimeter that I already have, just until I can get enough supplies to go on a biter killing rampage, which probably won't even happen until I can get my oil shortage sorted out, which will probably, hopefully at least, be in the next episode. As it turns out right now, I'm just kind of checking everything out. Got a few of the level 3s. We already have our first visitor, which means that this is more than overdue to be setting up this defensive perimeter. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Although I don't have a whole lot of wall segments or laser turrets in my inventory, I am going to just make do with what I've got. And right now this is just a wall with some decoration, so I have to put some ammunition in these turrets, as well as get power supplied to the laser turrets. And that power is not hooked up to anything yet, but it will be once I finish. I'm going to put a corner in right here and bring it back down into the main factory, or at least into the wall around my main factory. And right there I run out of wall segments, but I'm this close to the existing wall, so in this section of the wall will need to be moved anyway. So I go ahead and just pick up a few of those, bring the power down and connect it into the main grid just like that. Yeah, clean up that corner just a little bit. Now I need to go back in and fill in the ammunition. And once I get the defensive perimeter 3.0 all worked out, then hopefully I can set up a system to where a train will come along and supply my wall with all the ammunition it needs, and only doing so when it actually needs it. I have some grand plans in mind for the 3.0 defensive perimeter that do involve a circuit network determining when ammunition is low, and then sending a signal to a central hub that will deploy a resupply train. Hopefully we can figure all that out using the circuits. If not, that would mean that I would have to go around and manually resupply every section of the wall. And the defensive perimeter 3.0, my design for that is that it's going to extend a good distance out from the factory, possibly past the pollution range. Oh, that was not supposed to pick up that box. How do I cancel that? Alright, fine, I'll just put down a second box and unload all of the wood into that one. There we go. That was embarrassing. Alright, and then that's going to come right into my my blue science facility, which already has a decent amount of protection around it. hopefully. I mean, there is kind of this little segment right here, but that is also buried inside the forest, and I know that the biter AI does not handle going through forests very well. So hopefully in all the time that the biters will, move around like the Three Stooges within those trees, the existing turrets can lock onto them and take care of that problem. Anyway, back down here on my master bus, I'm going to change over these connections to the new, what I call the two-belt splitter, instead of the existing pattern, because as I said in the previous episode, the existing pattern uh, it, it it shortens the supply farther along the master bus by two full belts. This way, when the side loading area is not demanding anything at the moment, then all four lanes going straight down the master bus will go unimpeded. And then, of course, when the side loads need it the most, they can actually take two full belts worth of resources. Or at least that's the idea. It may or may not actually work that way, I don't know, but I do believe that this is at least better than the existing system. Now, I need a four-lane belt balancer. I could have sworn that I had a blueprint for that somewhere in my inventory, but I could not find it at the moment. So I'll just go ahead and rebuild it. And I think that's the way it works. I might be a little wrong on that now that I think about it, but I think that works well enough for the moment. I know I say that all the time, and people are probably saying, "Oh no, but it's not." Oh well, we'll figure things out as time goes on. I'm going to make a blueprint of my two belt splitter. This is the one that's going off to the right side. Eventually, I will need one that goes off to the left as well, and then probably later on a design that splits all four lanes and feeds them off in one direction without spilling off into the belts along the side. In other words, it'll fit within that two-tile gap between the belts. I do have it's designed on paper. I right now I don't actually have a need for it, so yeah, I haven't went ahead and built it yet. Over here, I'm just putting a bunch of advanced circuits directly from my inventory into those assembly machines just in order to get something going, because it's just really sad that it's not doing anything. And the oil might be trickling along, but is obviously not producing red circuits very quickly. You can see like one or two passing along the main belt there, or the whatever you want to call it, the master belt. Anyway, I'm going to bring some more of the processing units onto the master bus. Tidy up some inventory a little bit, just kind of checking out all of the resources that are just sitting here doing nothing. We'll have to see what we can do about that in the future. But for right now, which is definitely not the future, I'm going to start setting up the next facility, and that is the military facility, because I am desperately short in armor-piercing ammunition. First, I'm going to need to go down here and pick up a ton more belts, because I need to extend the master bus to the north just by a little bit, and that always takes quite a number of belts. There's a few attacks over near my science facility. Nothing got destroyed. There was some damage being done over there, so I'll have to check that out here in a little while. But as long as nothing got destroyed, it's not a top priority. And once again, I am out of belts. I picked up 8 full stacks, and apparently that wasn't enough. So there's 8 more stacks. Get that one tile over there, and then the remainder for the steel. Because right now I believe I only need iron, copper, electronic circuits, and steel. I'll probably need to be using something quite a few more things than that actually. Once I actually add the robots, the defender capsules and whatnot to the mix, as this is where those will be produced. But I will take care of that in the future, in the near future. All right, get my second blueprint there, clearing a spot on the master bus. All right, and I keep running out of room in my inventory. Let's move some of these blueprints into the blueprint book. That's what it's there for. All right. Now we're just bringing those over into the military facilities main bus. All right. Yeah, I want to get our armor-piercing ammunition and armor-piercing shotgun shells. Those are my primary focus of this section right now. That way, I can at least go out and turret creep throughout the wastelands as they are, and hopefully just eliminate a whole bunch of biter bases, bring back a bunch of alien artifacts, so my science facility can continue running. Because right now it has once again stalled out. I'm low on alien artifacts. I'm not entirely sure if I'm ever going to be using the left two lanes of this section of the master bus, because I already have all the lanes that I should need dedicated to everything else. I don't know. I mean, what else would I need to add to the master bus? I mean, a lot of people suggest gears, but my practice has so far been just producing gears where they are needed. Maybe batteries, because I am using a lot of batteries throughout the factory. So that might be something that I'll add to that later, instead of crafting them all up in C2. But for now, it's I don't know. It seems like it's better off just producing them in the facilities that actually use them, which unfortunately so far means almost all of them. I think the module facility and the circuit facility are the only ones that actually have not needed batteries crafted up, or won't need them crafted up. The miscellaneous facility is not making them yet, I don't think. It's been a while since I've actually looked at the layout over there, but it will eventually need them for when I set up the new solar and accumulator factory. So maybe it might be a good idea to put batteries somewhere else and feed them onto the master bus. We'll see as time goes on. But in the meantime, just getting all the things I need. I want to move up the existing amount of shotgun shells that I've already got crafted, because there's no sense in having a whole bunch sitting around and making up more. It takes up too much space, so I want to move those where they're actually needed. So there that goes. I've got both of those running, and that should help bolster my supplies of ammunition for the foreseeable future. Alright, and just to make a little bit more room in my inventory and use up some things that really should have been put up a long time ago, I'm going to put some radar installations around my factory, just so that I can see what's going on, maybe find a biter base or two before they come and attack me. Although you can usually see the effect in the pollution cloud. Alright, I keep finding all of these random junk boxes around my factory, including some more plastic, so let's go ahead and get that in there. And it turns out there's a bunch over here as well, not plastic, but a bunch of other miscellaneous stuff that can certainly be added into the factory. So that will again help in the short term at least. I'm going to go ahead and check my oil reserves. They're obviously not filling up, but you can see over there my refineries have at least 2 going at a time, occasionally a third. So it's hobbling along like it always does. I was kind of hoping to get enough modules produced in order to get my Mark II power armor, but that might have to wait until the next episode, and because that's been a long time coming. If I could just get enough stuff in there to get that running. Alright, and then of course put some alien artifacts into the purple science. There's a biter base right over here, which is what was responsible for those attacks earlier. I'm just going to go ahead and turret creep them out of existence. Oh yeah, the flamethrower ammunition, that's another thing I'll have to add to the military base, which means I'll have to pump heavy and light oil onto the master bus at some point. But that shouldn't be too difficult. Alright, pick up a bunch of alien artifacts there, take care of some stragglers. And that was a pretty decent amount. I think that's all the alien artifacts I will need for the Mark II power armor. I'm going to pick up some more ammunition while I'm out there. Anyway, that is all the time we have for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Azrael. Never stop building.